So we are going to learn to use our calculator for constructing a confidence interval when we know sigma, so we know our population standard deviation. And we're going to look at how to do this with our calculator. So we went through an example with the t interval, and specifically when we had data. So we went through, we entered it into L1. Okay, so you can do the same thing, same procedure, and there are directions here for how to do that for a z interval. But just to give you a contrast, let's say we weren't given the raw data, but instead we're given the statistics. So the sample mean, so we don't have to actually compute that, we were already given it. And so to give you something to compare it to, we're going to look at our reading scores for 5th graders. And there's our X bar, we've got sigma, N. We are constructing a 95% confidence interval, and those are the pieces that we need. So pull out your calculator, and what we want to do is, again, go to your stat. So we're going to pick stat. We want to go over to tests. So if you're actually wanting to follow this in your notes, right? So we've got stat, tests, and so you want to use your arrows to arrow over to get to tests. And we want to go down until you get to z interval. So sigma is known. We're going to do a z confidence interval. So arrow down to get to 7. Push enter. Okay, so here would be where you could go over to data if you were actually entering the raw data. Here in our example, we were given the statistics, so we're going to enter on stats. And page down, so what do we have? So for this example, and it actually has my data from the last thing I did, but our sigma is 15, so that is correct. And then I can use my arrow to go down. If I hit clear, it will clear out what X bar was. So for the, let's see, reading scores, X bar was 82. So I'm going to enter 82, and then I am going to page down. N is 35, so I'm going to put in 35. And then I want a 95% confidence interval, so I need to change that to 0.95. Down arrow to highlight calculate and enter. And there's your confidence interval. So if we follow our rule, we were given a sample mean. So we rounded to the same decimal place as our mean was given. So whole numbers. Then this would round up to 77 and 87, which was what we had calculated in class. So that would let you get to it using your calculator. And you should be able to do both, right? So in terms of going through your work, you should be able to go through this, but then it is also nice to be able to verify that you've done everything right by checking it in your calculator.